Anthony Joshua knocks out Jake Paul clean after forgetting to follow the script. Look, it was all over Jake Paul's face. Jake Paul's mouth was wide open. He said, Anthony, did you not get the bank transfer? That's genuinely how people on social media are discussing this fight. It's completely ridiculous to me that we have people who before the fight were promising that Jake Paul would win because it's rigged by bank transfer. Jake Paul by bank transfer. I saw that thousands of people said it. And then when Jake Paul loses, it's completely inverted. These people can never be wrong. You know, they claim it's rigged, which, look, if you think it's rigged, okay. Number one, why aren't you rich? You know, if I had a time machine, if I could go back 50 years and know for a fact who would win sporting events, I would be a billionaire. I would have all the money in the world. All the sports books would be broke because of me. So these people, they're just dishonest. You know, if you know Jake Paul's going to win, or if you know he's going to lose because it's rigged, I'm not sure why he would rig himself to lose, why aren't you rich? You know, if it's so obvious that all these fights are scripted, why aren't you betting on Jake Paul? And then when you know he's going to lose because it's rigged, not because he's the worst fighter, why aren't you making money on all these? That's what I never understand. You know, this is in every sport, in NFL, in the NBA, regardless of who wins and loses, if anything happens that's not completely robotic, if a ref misses a call, if a player drops a pass, anything, if a team wants to score late, it's rigged because they're trying to cover. If a team doesn't want to score late because they've already given up, it's also rigged because why wouldn't you score? If an NBA player is, you know, if they're down by 5 points with 3 seconds left, if he shoots it and makes it, it's rigged because why would you shoot it there? If he doesn't shoot the layup, it's rigged because why? It's like, regardless of what happens, these imbeciles think everything is rigged, and it's always unfalsifiable because nothing I could provide these people with could prove to them that these sporting leagues are not rigged. You know, they say that Jake Paul's going to win every fight, and this commenter, as I've shown above, he says that Jake Paul is losing to prove it's not rigged. How about Jake Paul beat up on people, and he's lost 2 fights now, but how about he beat up on people who were not boxers and were old, and then he loses to the people that are bigger than him and more experienced. Now, the only 2 real boxers he fought that were under the age of 60, he lost to, obviously, by knockout and then by decision. It kind of makes sense. If you fight smaller guys who are not boxers, Tyron Woodley, you know, you got Nate Robinson. You're fighting smaller guys who are not boxers, you probably should win, or at least compete. You know, you fought a wrestler in Ben Askren who's no boxing. You fought Tyron Woodley, who's an okay boxer, but he's older, he's smaller. You fought Nate Robinson, who's a basketball. It's like he hasn't beaten anybody that would be stunning. You know, Tommy Fury, he had a good fight with and lost, but nothing really stuns me. Nothing is unbelievable. Some people might say, oh, well, why did Anthony Joshua not knock him out in round 1? Well, Jake Paul was running the entire fight. It's pretty hard to knock somebody out if they're not even going to engage with you. Jake Paul would throw like 1 punch and then go for a takedown. It's like, look, it's pretty hard to knock. If somebody's not going to engage with you, it's pretty hard to knock them out if they're not going to even fight. So I just find it completely ridiculous. I mean, these people, back and forth, whatever happens, it's always rigged. Whoever wins, it's rigged. You know, if 70% of the bets are on one team and they lose, it's because Vegas made the call. But then if it happens in the opposite direction, Vegas still made the call. Whatever happens, everything's rigged. I know that for a fact.